I'd like to share this car with you today. This is a 1961 Cadillac Coupe DeVille. Coupe DeVille model is the top of the line two-door hardtop for 1961. They also made a Series 62 that was a little less optioned, we'll say. The DeVilles usually had the leather and cloth interior and the power windows and 6-way power seat, whereas the 62 standard model would be manual windows and a manual seat, or at least a 2-way power seat. So the DeVille is the more deluxe model. And somebody's going to tell me that I forgot to mention that the Series 62 models had cloth and vinyl instead of leather and vinyl. So, okay, there, I said it. This car is still in the hands of the gentleman that says he bought it brand new in the Bay Area. And it has 55,000 original miles on it. So let's see what an original low-mile 1961 Cadillac looks like. You see the padded dash, all the chrome trim, everything there looks excellent. The seat shows some wear and has the typical problem with the foam underneath the cloth that is disintegrating, and it kind of comes up through the weaves of the cloth. So you have that yellow dust on the upholstery that's from the degrading of the foam. So I'm trying to think ahead. You know, my videos are not scripted for you guys that know and watch my videos. I just think of what I need to say as I'm going through the car. So under the hood, it still has the original, part of the original underhood insulation pad. There has been somebody under here doing some paint touch-up over the years, but the engine and most everything that you see under here is original to 1961, totally untouched. 1961 in some regards. Again, someone recently replaced the water pump. Someone has done some paint touch-up on the black. There's little things here that are certainly not original to factory line 1961. But it's still, in all regards, an excellent example of a 61 Cadillac. So this has the 390. I think that Cadillac by 61, and of course the end of this engine production was 62, the 390s were a fantastic, very reliable engine, and that's what we have here. 1960, the 390 engine got the external oil filter, which you see down there. 59 still had a canister up on top. So 60, it went down there in the bottom to make a full flow oil system with the oil filter instead of a partial flow. And then in 62, well, they ended production of this engine and actually introduced the 390 for 1963, which is a totally redesigned engine that in 64 became the 429, which continued to 1967. 1968, they came out with the 472. Again, a totally different engine. But again, now let's look underneath here of this car and look at details like back under here, the hoses and hinges and brackets, the wiring. The condition of that is excellent for 1961. You can see here the same thing goes on this side, and of course there have been hoses, clamps, and so forth that have been maintained and changed over the years. If we look down here, you can see that the front suspension bushings are in pretty good shape, but again, somebody's had some gloss black and painted over and cleaned things up down there at one time. Nice little touch, a bug screen in front of the radiator. And let's see, what else can I say underneath here? Looks pretty good. Everything's where it's supposed to be. A lot of originality under the hood. So here we go up front. 61 had the round park turn signal lights in the bottom. 62 front group changed a little bit and had kind of a semi-oval park lamp type of thing. Looking real close here at the car, you'll see some little bit of scratches here in the chrome headlight bezel area. And if we look real close here, you see some crazing in the paint. And the owner told me that years ago, the car got a little bit close to a barbed wire fence on his property and scratched the side of the car. So he had it cleaned up and repainted. So what we're looking at here is some repaint, probably not entirely repainted, but substantial amount of repaint was done at one time or on the car. If we go back here and look at the windshield, the bug here with the date code, all totally correct. There are a few little scratches on the glass here that happened when the barbed wire fence got a little close. So let's go down the side of the car. The lower stainless, a little bit scratched there, and we can continue on back. This absolute rear piece of stainless is not 61, not correct, but those are obtainable. I think I probably even have one. Little details like here where the paint is worn away. And again, there's been some repaint, but not entirely. If we look real close, you can see evidence where there's a little overspray on the stainless trim, so that you can see that an original paint job, you would not have any white paint on any of the trim. It's been repainted here and there. All right, we'll walk around the car. Pot metal pieces are very good. They're you can see little tiny small wear and pitting, very slight, but this is a very nice car. The bumper fit, the lenses, the chrome, everything looks fantastic. Trunk lid fits quite well. Let's open the trunk. There's the original jack instructions, original trunk, the original trunk cardboard pieces, everything in place. You can see the trunk is a very dry original trunk. And I haven't looked underneath here, but let's see if we can pull it up. Look at that. Nice car. Look at that. Nice car. The jack pieces are in place where they're supposed to be. An old bias ply spare with the cover, the jack base, the jack, and the original wood chalk in the trunk. Original rubber trunk gasket, very tight. We know that it's tight and sealed well because the trunk is totally dry and proper. No problems under here at all. Okay, close the trunk. Trunk closes snug, tight, and let's go down the driver's side of the car. Very straight, nice trim, the typical wear at the edges of the wheel opening around the skirt. Let's look at the rubber weather strip here looks very good. The rubber in the window areas and the window whiskers, the felt whiskers here, all nice and black, dry, and in place like they should be. I'm going to open this door. Correct original finish there, no overspray. Nobody's repainted the door jambs, and no one has painted over the top of the proper trim pieces. You can see the little overspray here that would have come around the door when somebody was doing touch-up work on the exterior of the car, as I mentioned before. Some nice old lube stickers there. Very good rockers, threshold sill plates. Looking down in here to see if there's any rust or damage in there. There's nothing. Even the rubber boot is proper and correct. Gonna see if this camera will do any justice of the underside of the car. Looking at rockers and floors and exhaust system. The exhaust has recently been redone, and whoever did it needs to be talked to, because there's a couple of rattles in the exhaust system. So because of the rattle, I'm not going to take you for a road test. But if we look underneath here, look how dry everything is. No sign that there's ever been any moisture down there. The car's been protected, kept in the garage, and cared for all its life. Okay? And of course, like I said, the seats have the typical degrading of the foam inside, showing the foam coming up through that has gone bad. Okay? There's that. It just turned 55,000 when I drove the car today to a little cars and coffee event that we had. I'll be taking the car back to the owner's house shortly. So I just wanted to share this with you because there's not very many of these low mileage original cars around to show and share. Let's do this door jamb while I got you here. Look at the bottom of the doors if the sun's not in the shot. Excellent. Get rid of this little thing here. And again, excellent. Nice car. And yes, the clock works. The radio works, the antenna works, the windows all roll up and down electric like they're supposed to. What could I say about this car? What would I do to this car? Fix that rattle in the exhaust for one, and replace this wrong wiper with a correct one. The arm is correct, but the wiper blade assembly is wrong. And a little bit of detail, and then enjoy the car. So there you are, 1961 Cadillac Coupe DeVille, low mile, 55,000, always garaged and ready to enjoy. Like I say, I drove it today to our little cars and coffee event. The owner asked me to take it out and stretch its legs a little bit out in the Napa Valley. So I was happy to do that for him. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.